Survival is serious business. Whether you are fleeing from a societal collapse during a bug out or stranded way out in the wilderness on a trip gone wrong, it pays to have a survival rifle. Survival rifles emphasize convenient, compact, and lightweight firepower suitable for bagging wild game or defending yourself from dangerous critters. They can even be used as a highly portable means of self-defense against human attackers in a pinch. It's easy to pick the wrong rifle and waste valuable space and weight in your pack or cargo. Taking too much gun means you'll have to leave behind other critical supplies. And if you're out recreationally, you don't want to waste space on a gun anyway. The best survival rifles of 2024 combine excellent shooting and handling characteristics with versatile and space-saving designs. Keep watching and I'll tell you all about them. Grab your pack and let's get a move on. Number 7. Ruger 1022 Takedown 22 LR. When it comes to semi-auto rimfire rifles, it's really hard to beat Ruger's legendary 1022. Millions have been made over the decades, and the line has been continuously updated with new variants and features. In 2024, the 1022 still remains a superb choice. My choice out of all of them for a dedicated survival rifle is easily the Takedown model. The barrel and forend on this model separate from the action in seconds. It is easily accomplished simply by locking the bolt to the rear, pressing a lever recessed into the bottom of the forend, and then twisting the two halves apart. Reassembly is just as simple. My favorite variant utilizes synthetic mag-pull furniture which neatly and securely nests both component groups together in a compact bundle. Measuring just 17 inches in overall length, it is easily stowed under a seat, in a pack, or in a lightweight carrying case. This configuration allows your optics to remain mounted and, best of all, return to zero upon reassembly. It even has room for a couple of mags so you can have ammo with the gun safely at all times. And speaking of magazines, the 1022 Takedown utilizes all standard rotary box magazines that these guns are famous for. That means you can use a compact and flush-fitting 10-round box, or upgrade to a 20, 25, or even higher capacity magazine if you want extra firepower. A great idea if you're worried about defending yourself from dangerous animals or people. Accurate, reliable, and priced right. You can make a great case for going with the tried-and-true 1022 as your survival rifle right out of the gate. Number 6. Marlin Model 70P 22LR. The Marlin Model 70P, better known to some shooters as the Papoose, is a fine contemporary of Ruger's 1022. Another .22 caliber semi-auto, this survival rifle works just as well as a lightweight camping or adventuring gun. The standard 70P has a classic vibe. It's all blued steel and walnut. That wood aesthetic comes at a cost as it makes it a little heavy, and it's not quite as durable as the 1022 Takedown. Even so, it's still a totally viable choice. If you want something tougher, the 70P SS is a synthetic stocked stainless version. Both versions feed from detachable 7 or 10-shot magazines. The 70P is easily disassembled by unscrewing the large, knurled barrel nut which securely mates the barrel to the receiver. Both components stow inside an included flotation carry case which can fit in other luggage or be slung along with your backpack. At its most compact, the case measures about 20 inches overall. For a takedown rifle, the 70P is remarkably accurate and has a nice, clean-breaking trigger. Unfortunately, this is let down by the rudimentary, coarse buckhorn-style sights mounted on the barrel. Thankfully, like the Ruger, you can mount a scope or other optic to the receiver and it will hold its zero. And before you ask, yes, there's plenty of room for nearly any scope inside the generously sized case. Set it up once and forget it. Number 5. Henry U.S. Survival Rifle 22LR. Arguably the one that started it all, Henry's U.S. Survival Rifle is essentially a copy of the original AR-7 survival rifle. That gun is another brainchild of Eugene Stoner, designer of the iconic and prolific AR-15. This pint-sized and simple .22 caliber was originally conceived and adopted as an aircrew survival weapon, one that has seen actual service with the Israeli Air Force. Unlike most other survival rifles out there, and all of the other ones on our list, the U.S. survival rifle is a self-contained solution. The barrel and the receiver, with trigger group, separate from the stock and stow inside. The resulting package is incredibly compact, waterproof, floats, and also functions as a hard case that protects the components and ammo inside from damage. The entire gun can be reassembled in under a minute when needed. The entire rifle is a feathery light 3.5 pounds, and when inside the stock compartment, the total length is just 14 inches, the same as the length of pull. Feeding from an 8-round magazine, capacity is adequate. Be careful with the mags since they are notoriously prone to damage when out of the gun. Accuracy is also middling thanks to a mushy trigger and a high-vis front sight that is a bit too thick. This updated Classic has a rail on top of the receiver for mounting an optic, but then you cannot stow it inside the stock, a major shortcoming. You'll have to commit to going without an optic for maximum portability or give up that portability for a better sighting system. All in all, the US survival rifle is a good one for shooters who need a truly tiny and easy-to-carry gun. The first 3 rifles on our list are classics that have been around for a while, but we are moving on into some thoroughly modern options next. If you're enjoying the list so far, please give us a like and click the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Number 4. FN PS90 5.7 by 28mm. FN's P90 submachine gun is a personal defense weapon that has long been the darling of Hollywood and gamers. Thanks to its unmistakable silhouette and translucent magazine which shows off a full 50 rounds of 5.7 by 28mm inside, this gun nailed the space-age look before it was cool. It might seem like a strange inclusion for a survival rifle, but its long-barreled PS90 actually has a lot going for it in the category. It has excellent capacity and a major increase in ballistic performance over common .22 LRs. It is also ambidextrous, compact, and highly reliable in all weather conditions. And carrying just 2 mags for this blaster will give you 100 rounds of ammo on tap. Even better, the bullpup action makes the overall length of the rifle quite handy, and you can break it down further by disassembling the barreled action from the stock with the push of a single button. You'll have to take care to keep the bolt carrier group in place while disassembled, but that is a minor concern if you're careful or pack it in a case. The PS90 can also mount any optic you want on its Picatinny rail, and the design will hold 0 when disassembled. It might not look anything like a traditional survival rifle, but the PS90 might be the first and last word in truly compact firepower for the bare minimum of bulk. Number 3. Keltech Sub2000 Gen 3 9mm Parabellum. Far and away one of the most popular and, say I, coolest guns that Keltech makes. The Sub2000 pistol caliber carbine is an excellent choice if you want a long gun to complement your handgun by sharing magazines. It accepts Glock 19, Glock 17, and other extended Glock 9mm magazines. The Sub2000 offers good firepower and a significant increase in ballistic performance over a handgun thanks to its 16-inch barrel. The Gen 3 model builds on lessons the company learned with the previous iterations, featuring M-LOK mounting slots on either side of the handguard along with a full-length Picatinny rail on top and a shorter rail on the bottom. No matter what sort of vertical foregrip, light, or other accessories you want to mount, this PCC can accommodate. And optics of all kinds are on the table, even when folded. A clever rotational fitment for the handguard provides full clearance. You can even mount an optic, and when you fold the gun in half, the optic will swing out of the way so you can fully stow the gun. You give up fixed sights to do it, but that's a small price to pay. With past versions, you had to leave the optic off or invest in an expensive quick detach mount with return to zero capability and carry it separately. The Sub2000 has proven to be reliable and surprisingly durable in my experience. But being a simple blowback design recoil is brisker than you might think. That's not a bad trade-off for this kind of performance, and the Sub2000 might just be the best all-around survival rifle on our list. Number 2. Fold AR Metta Subcompact Pistol 300 Blackout. There's no denying that the AR-15 is the most ubiquitous and, in its many guises, still the best intermediate caliber rifle that has ever been designed. No matter what sort of situation you're going into, you will be well served by the AR-15. But in the context of a survival rifle, even the smallest of ARs chambered in 5.56mm or 30 caliber tend to be a bit chunky and heavier than you'd like. I'm happy to report that particular problem is a thing of the past with Fold AR's Metta subcompact weapon. With a minimalist Maxim-style telescopic brace at the back and a proprietary barrel interface that folds the 9-inch barrel along the side of the receiver, you can stash this AR almost anywhere. The overall footprint of the folded and collapsed rifle is an astonishing 12 inches long, barely bigger than a large textbook. A bit heavier than the other guns we featured so far, without a mag or optics it weighs 6.5 pounds. And unlike all of the other guns on our list, you'll have real rifle power. 300 Blackout, though a little bit pricey, offers tremendous versatility in this application and can be loaded up or down for self-defense or hunting as needed. It also happens to be a lot more consistent than 5.56 coming out of such a short barrel. If you desire a super compact semi-auto survival rifle with plenty of power, capacity, and all of the usual tactical accoutrement, look no further. Fold AR's Metta is the best in show. Number 1. Winchester Model 1892 Trapper Takedown. 357 mag, 44 mag, 44 to 40, and 45 Colt. Sometimes it's best to get back to basics. Enter the Winchester Model 1892 Trapper Takedown. An American classic through and through, this lever-action beauty is chambered in your choice of 357 Magnum, 44 Magnum, 44 to 40, or 45 Colt. All of these venerable pistol cartridges gain considerable steam coming out of that long 16-inch barrel too. That makes this 1892 another smart choice for backpackers, shooters, and preppers who want a long gun that shares a chambering with their handgun. This rifle splits into two component groups right at the front of the receiver: barrel with tubular magazine and receiver with stock. The takedown procedure is pretty involved but requires no tools. First, making sure the rifle is entirely unloaded, you open the action and then pull out the takedown lever at the end of the magazine tube. Then turn it counterclockwise for several turns. Once this is done, a quick quarter rotation of the forend while holding the pistol grip will separate the barrel and magazine tube from the receiver. This easy separation is made possible by the clever use of interrupted threads on the barrel. Reassembly is easy and takes about a minute. The two halves of the rifle are very slender, and despite its hefty appearance, the 1892 Trapper Takedown is quite light, just 6 pounds. If you love the liveliness and quick handling of a classic lever gun, Winchester's Takedown 1892 is a great survival rifle. That wraps up our list of the best survival rifles for 2024. What's your preference for a survival rifle? Do you want an optic with all the accessories or prefer something simple and iron sights only? Sound off down in the comments, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe to keep up to date with all of our gun content. Until next time,